talking about simple ways to reduce waste and live sustainably without going off the grid or giving up modern life, right? So let's face it, most of us want to do better. That is our goal. But the real question is, how do we make sustainability work in our real life? So we're going to kick things off. I have a question for you guys. Make sure you drop it in the chat. What is one thing that you've done lately to reduce waste in your home? Tell me in the chat. Is it maybe you gave up or started using reusable water bottles? You ditched the traditional plastic grocery bags. Maybe you started composting. So let me know in the chat. And I've got some interesting stats for you guys. Did you know the average American produces 4.5 pounds of trash every single day? And only 9% of the plastic in our world actually gets recycled. We toss enough of these paper towels, right, each year to fill 51,000 garbage trucks. Every single minute, a truckload of plastic ends up in our oceans. And on a global scale, we're really creating over 2 billion tons of waste every single year. And if nothing changes, that number is expected to grow by 70% by 2050. That's pretty crazy, right? So I feel it can feel overwhelming, right? After all, we live in a world of 8 billion people. But here's the truth. When one person reduces even one disposable habit, just one, it creates this ripple effect. If just 1,000 families swapped paper towels for reusables, we would save over 1 million sheets from the landfills in just 1 year. So small changes by just one person can make a huge difference. And here's another big reason why these swaps matter. Studies now show that microplastics are being found in human food, in our blood, in our lungs, even in baby placentas. A major source is single-use plastics and packaging that sheds these tiny little particles into our food and into our water. When we choose safer, reusable alternatives, we can actually help reduce the amount of microplastics that our families are exposed to every day. And it's not just about helping the planet, although that's a big part of it, it's about protecting our own bodies too. But here's the good news. Small swaps, they will add up. And Norwex makes it easy with practical, long-lasting alternatives that honestly don't feel like a sacrifice. It feels like a win for me every time. And at Norwex, our mission, we share a cleaner, safer way of living for our homes, for our families, and of course, for our planet. So we're going to talk about ditching some of those single-use items, right? The big three. So we're going to talk about the Countercloths. Tell me in the chat if you have and use the Countercloths. Also reusable grocery bags and stretchy silicone lids, which I am obsessed with the stretchy silicone lids. So we're going to start with some of the easiest wins, the things we use every single day without even thinking about it, right? Let's talk about these things. Paper towels, right? Countercloths are going to be your MVP here. Each set has saved up to 697 million rolls from landfills since 2018. How crazy is that? That's just amazing. Plus, they're super cute. You can grab them and go. They're loaded with recycled microfiber too. So we're also doing something good for the planet when we use them. We have them in our homes. Now, reusable grocery bags. That's another thing that I started doing. I love the Norwex reusable grocery bags, but my husband's at Aldi right now and has all of mine. So I'm going to hold up this other one that I have. This is a netted or a mesh reusable grocery bag that's made from recycled plastic. And Norwex grocery bags are also made from 100% recycled material. They're also lined with our backlock, which helps prevent the stink, the mold, the bacterial growth. And here's another one, right? Plastic foil, right? So does that stick on there very well? No, I don't think so. Certainly doesn't keep our food fresh. But look at the difference. These lids are so great. They're a game changer in my house. And the best part, I always get nervous when I do this. I don't know why, but they are airtight. Like you are not going to spill a drop. And I could shake this all night and nothing's going to happen. Could we do that with cling wrap? So not only is it a safer option, but it works a lot better too. So tell me in the chat, what is one single use item that is the hardest for you to give up? Tell me in the chat. Could it be plastic wrap? Maybe zip top bags, paper towels? Tell me something that's been difficult or something you want to do, right, but you haven't yet. So now we're going to move into what's reusable, some of our replacement heroes at Norwex. I can't wait to read all your comments. So one thing I really love, I use them daily. We do a lot of food prepping here, and it is the silicone food storage containers. I love these. I also love dryer balls. We're going to talk about those and Norwex sponges. Did you know Norwex has washable sponges? So what if I told you that reusables can actually be more convenient than disposables? So these silicone food storage containers, they collapse. I mean, let me push it all the way down on my table. They collapse for easy storage. And they do such a great job replacing so many of those plastic containers. Oh, and you can even slide them in a drawer for storage. It's awesome. Here's something to think about because plastic containers really wasn't something that I thought about a lot, we'll say 18 months ago. But then I started learning about microplastics, right? So many black plastic takeout containers, they're made from recycled electronics. They contain harmful additives. And when they're heated in the microwave, they're probably the most dangerous. These containers can leach microplastics and chemicals, even things like flame retardants, into our food, and we don't need that. These chemicals have been linked to hormone disruption and other health concerns that have really been apparent lately in the news. You've probably seen some articles about it. So safer choices for containers would be glass containers, stainless steel, high quality food grade silicone for heating and storage. So I love the collapsible containers here. Another big hero in my kitchen are these. These are amazing. These are the food grade silicone bags. Do you know you can also cook in these things? They're just awesome. So we're going to move on to the dryer. Now, when I was researching some things to talk about, it said hold up dryer sheets. You know, I haven't had dryer sheets for about 5 years. And that is, to me, mind blowing because I used to love all the smell goods, right? The sprinkle things I would put in my wash, the fabric softener, all of the things. And I switched to these little guys. These are the dryer balls that replace dryer sheets. They cut our drying time. They can also reduce static. Not only have these replaced dryer sheets and fabric softener, but they're cutting down on the actual time it takes to dry our clothes, which means I'm also saving on energy, right? Because we do, I don't know about you guys. Drop it in the chat. Are you doing laundry right now? Because I guarantee there's laundry going in my house. So anytime, especially in the summer, when I can reduce the amount of time I'm using that dryer, it's a huge win. All right, and another thing that I love is reducible produce, or sorry, reusable produce bags. So I love these. Tell me in the chat, do you have them? So these are 3 produce bags that are great. They keep your fruits and your veggies breathing. There's no slimy plastic if you've ever had that from the plastic bags from the grocery store, and no guilt. These are awesome. You can actually use these not only to go to the farmer's market and get your produce, but when you come home and you clean your produce with something like the fresh produce wash from Norwex, you can actually keep the produce in here and then sit it on your counter to dry, and then put the whole bag down in your produce drawer. So great. Now we're going to talk about sponges. All right, we used to be obsessed with a yellow sponge to the point where our twice monthly Costco trips involved a case of paper towels and a case of these yellow sponges. And they were stinky, right? That's why we would get a case because they would get so stinky. Now I am obsessed with the Norwex Enviro sponge. So this is a great sustainable option for families because this is washable. It's like you literally throw it in the washing machine when you're done. We also have some other sponges like the Speary sponge, which is non-scratching, super affordable. And when I think about all of the yellow sponges I haven't had to purchase in years because I'm using a sponge that I can wash in my washing machine, it adds up to some big savings. Oh, now I see your comments. So tell me in the chat, what is one item that you buy over and over and over again that you wish was reusable? Think about like maybe the dryer sheets, right? Napkins, or zip top bags. Tell me what is one thing you wish that you could reuse more of? And then what have we talked about tonight that could be a safe, sustainable alternative to that? Another hero in my kitchen. Oh, yes, I see all of your comments now. I am with you on the tissues. Okay. We use a lot of tissues in this house. I am 100% on board with that. So the kitchen towel and cloth set. Okay, I'm obsessed with these. If you want a bigger, heftier cloth for big messes compared to the counter cloth, which is your paper towel replacement, right? This set reduces the need for paper towels and sprays, right? Those extra paper towel rolls. Now, this kitchen towel can absorb about 2 cups of liquid. Think of all the dishes we get to dry, just so much. Also, drying hands, drying dishes, all the things. And in the kitchen cloth, this is really amazing. I have been using kitchen cloth. I am obsessed with kitchen cloths. I use these for meal prep cleanup after my kids have their dinner and their crumbs are everywhere. So I don't need to grab things like this, right? That costs me time and energy. Plus, when you're using Norwex microfiber, you're physically able to remove the bacteria from the surface when you use the microfiber properly. So awesome. I'm looking at your comments now. So another area that I have reduced a ton of waste in my house is makeup wipes. I used to use so many makeup wipes, and I've got some stats on makeup wipes that might just shock you. The average person using makeup wipes goes through hundreds every single year. And they're not cheap, right? They're very expensive and they go right into the trash, right into the landfills, and they're not biodegradable. So by switching to something like a Norwex body and face cloth, you can replace all of those wipes with something reusable that's gentle on our skin and much kinder to the planet. So who here has a pack of makeup wipes in your drawer right now? How much did you pay for them? And you don't have to answer that question. This is a no judgment zone. But what if you never had to buy them again? Imagine that. Imagine that. I can hear the dollar signs, right? So we can save waste wherever we are in our home, in the bathrooms, in the kitchen. So another thing that I love using is Norwex Biozyme dish soap. Also the fresh produce wash and our foaming hand wash powder. Okay. If you have these, if you love them, drop it in the chat. So this is our Biozyme dish soap. It is a concentrate. And what I love about this is it replaces so many separate bottles of plastic bottles to refill and create this product that I need to do dishes daily, right? So one bottle of Biozyme can make at least 3 forever sprayer bottles, and they last a pretty long time. Now, fresh produce wash, obsessed with it. It reduces food waste by extending your shelf life on your produce, which I think is fantastic because we always find, right, the produce in the bottom drawer that we forgot about. This will help you there. Also removing all of that bacteria and the nasty things that the produce picks up while it's on the way from the farm to our counter. Now, foaming hand wash powder. These are great. These allow us to let us reuse I'm going to hold it up, the forever foaming bottle here. So I just get a packet of these, which is made of paper, pour it in and mix up my hand wash, which is awesome. A great sustainable alternative to what I used to use. And dishcloths. My husband said, you got to tell him about dishcloths. Now, I love the Enviro sponge. He loves the netted dishcloth. This thing lasts for years. This is ours. It's from my sink. I got it from the sink right before I started this video. We have had this one for years. We use it over and over. It rinses clean, doesn't get stinky, doesn't hold on to all the food, which is so good. Now, if you had a magic wand, tell me, what would you make refillable forever? Is it your toothpaste? Maybe some soap, shampoo? What would you make refillable forever? Something you never have to worry about continuously buying these bottles. Now, if you're loving some of these consumables, or maybe I've introduced some new consumables to you, like the Biozyme, the fresh produce wash, even this foaming hand wash powder, even Norwex laundry detergent, I have the best tip for you. We have something called AutoSave. And on AutoSave, you can get basically set it and forget it, and you get 10% off. I have my personal AutoSave set up for every 3 months. And I always try to hit 150 or more because I get free shipping too. Like I said, set it and forget it. It's a great way to stay stocked up and save money without really having to think about it. All right, another hero. I know most of us will probably know this little guy, right? The power cleaning paste. And we cannot forget the EnviroCloth. Did you know this one little jar replaces multiple cleaners? Think stoves, sink, tub, wall marks, rust stains, hard water stains, all the things. It literally lasts forever. There's less waste, less plastic, and less junk under our sink. And when we think about what's under our sink, I talk about this a lot. So when I go to the grocery store, thankfully, I don't have to go down the cleaning aisle. But I know when I'm about 20 feet from the cleaning aisle because I can smell it. I can smell those chemicals, and those products, they're wrapped. Many are wrapped in plastic, they're sealed, and you can smell this toxic soup just walking towards the aisle. That same toxic soup used to live under my kitchen sink. Probably the last place I really want to have any of that stuff, right? So under my sink now, for the most part, you've got this and a couple other Norwex products, which has been great. So I got a question for you, and this is a no judgment zone. So do not feel compelled to answer if you don't want to. But how many cleaners are under your kitchen sink right now? I will tell you, when I started detoxing from Norwex, I had an entire box of enough to fill a big size box. And I took it out to the trash when I was waiting for my Norwex, and it sat at the end of the road next to our garbage can, this big box, right? Did you know the garbage man knocked on my door and said, I'm sorry, ma'am, we cannot take that. It's considered hazardous materials. The garbage man could not take my box of cleaners that was sitting under my sink where we eat, where we cook, because it was considered hazardous materials. It was in that moment that I realized what I was doing was the right thing. And I had to share it with others, right? Had to. Now, whenever you combine your EnviroCloth with your cleaning paste, you are going to be a sustainability ninja through and through. Okay, do we have any sustainability ninjas in the chat? Tell me. All right, another thing we're going to talk about is mop. All right, I don't know about you guys, but my floor gets dirty all the time. We've got grandkids, we have teenage boys, a big fluffy husky that sheds constantly. It never ends. So we used to spend so much money on these throwaway mop pads and endless bottles of different floor cleaning solutions. Think about how many disposable pads you've bought over the years. The Norwex mop system lets you wash and reuse. wash and reuse for years. So good. So right before I started this video, I grabbed my mop. Told you my dog sheds a lot. Okay, I grabbed my mop and I just did a quick dusting because it's shedding season around here. This thing is genius. It's easy peasy. Did you know you can get the mop free this month, by the way? Okay, that just came off my mop pad and now it's clean with the rubber brush. I have probably saved the most money by switching to a Norwex mop. So this is the dry mop pad, yellow like the sun. You use this one dry. And then we have a wet mop pad. And I want you to think of the wet mop pad like an EnviroCloth for your floor. So just get this one wet with water and go to town and mop your floors. Easy peasy. And it's not something we have to keep repurchasing all the time. So, all right. So let's talk about just a couple more things and then we're going to get wrapped up. Let me see how my time is. I think we're doing okay. So another great way I like to be sustainable on the go is with a Norwex travel pack. Okay. So this is the MVP. So it has a travel size body cloth, a travel size window cloth, and a travel size Enviro. You can also get a travel pack of 5 Enviro cloths, which is fantastic. And also countercloths. I seem to use we as a family seem to use countercloths on the go quite a bit because I'll pack them in lunches and things like that. One of my friends, she started using countercloths and said, I never realized how fast I was going through paper towels. I just never knew. Now she said, I'm saving money. I'm not putting my money in the trash can, and my kitchen, my home, my whole life just feels cleaner. I loved that. So these changes are doable. They're habit forming. And best of all, you don't have to change everything overnight. Like that is the biggest thing. Like small changes can make a huge impact in your life. And I even recommend doing it little by little. And if you saw something tonight that made you say, oh my gosh, I need that, place an order with your consultant. But if you want it all, if you're like, I need to really get some of these great things in my house, I recommend that you contact your consultant and book an event. That will help your consultant and it will also help you earn it for free. And if you book a party in this month, you can get a Norwex, you can earn a Norwex mop system totally free. But if you're the kind of person who already tells your friends, right, when something is good, if there's a good sale at the mall, you bought a shirt that fits great, your nails look awesome. If you're someone who already does that type of thing, then maybe Norwex is your thing. Join Norwex. You can actually join Norwex for like $9.95, and we get a 35% discount off of our own products. And I have a question for you. One last question. We're going to drop it in chat. What's one item you refuse to throw away because you might need it someday? I have a bunch of stuff down in my storage room, but what's one item that maybe you refuse to throw away because you might just need it in 10 years, 20 years? Drop your answer in the comments. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here with me tonight. That's all I have for you guys. I hope this was empowering for you. I hope these swaps seemed small but doable. They add up and we can definitely do better together. And I got a tip for you before the big guys jump on. If you're thinking I need to get started with just a few basics, start with the things that you run out of anyway, like your dish soap, your laundry detergent, your produce wash. When you add those items to AutoSave, you're not just saving money, you're also reducing plastic. So I hope this was informative. Thank you so much for having me here tonight. I appreciate you, and I think I'm all done.
Oh my goodness, Amy, that was amazing. I hope you can see the chat because it's blowing up.
Oh,